Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL. Thank you for joining me. You might think that long-lasting fresh fragrances don't exist. Well, they do, and I've got the proof. In this video, I'm coming at you with a few long-lasting freshes from my collection. Stay tuned. A question I get asked quite a lot in the comments of my videos is, can I recommend long-lasting, strong, fresh fragrances? It seems to be the holy grail of fragrances because people want to smell fresh and clean. That's a very popular way to smell, but they also want their fragrances to last. Fresh fragrances by their very nature don't contain materials that are particularly long-lasting. Some do though, and I have them right here. The last fragrance I'm going to mention today is the one that actually inspired me to make this video because it is an excellent, strong, long-lasting freshie. But first, let's kick things off with a few other long-lasting freshies. If you want to smell fresh, clean and sophisticated, then Chanel is always going to be a good option. I love Allure Homme Edition Blanche, but this one I think has even better performance. Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Absolute stone cold modern classic from Chanel. Anything in the Bleu de Chanel line, the EDT, the EDP, or this one, the Parfum, smells great. Very popular smell, so popular that Chanel don't really feel the need to release any new fragrances. I'll bet that we're probably going to get Bleu de Chanel Elixir before we get a new original scent from Chanel. The Parfum is the highest oil concentration of the Bleu de Chanel line, and this is the engine that drives the longevity. There's some opening citrus pop, which gives the fragrance a nice projection, and then woods and incense provide depth that really bolster that lasting power. This is just a fantastic, uncomplicated smell, versatile enough to wear whenever you like. I'm not saying it's beast mode, but it's definitely one of the longest lasting, fresher fragrances that I have. Another big plus for this fragrance is its mass appeal. A lot of people who are really into fragrances will maybe criticize the Bleu de Chanel line a little bit for being a little too simple. Some people will compare it to a shower gel type of smell, and they're not wrong, but those people are possibly looking for a little more out of their fragrance, something with a little more interest, a little more complexity. But the reality of it is that most people that you will meet when you go out and about will prefer a clean and simple smell like this more so than other more complicated smells. So if you're looking for some nice compliments, if you want to be mass appealing and you want generally people to enjoy the smell of you when you're out and about, then Bleu de Chanel is certainly one to check out. Something that I associate with the brand Nishane is that they produce strong, long-lasting fragrances, even with their fresh fragrances, because this one is superb, Hacivat. With this one, pineapple and citruses bring some freshness, there's an earthy oak moss, and woods bring some long-lasting depth. You will hear people say that this is Nishane's version of Creed's AVENTUS, and I think that's completely wrong. If it has any similarity to AVENTUS, it's just in the opening, maybe with that pineapple, but then AVENTUS goes a different route. It's a little smokier, you get the birchwood in there, whereas Hacivat is earthier, it's mossier, and because of this sort of green mossiness, it really has a thicker consistency, a thicker, heavier smell to me than AVENTUS, and I get way better performance off this than AVENTUS. If you are struggling with current formulations of AVENTUS, I'm not sure where they're up to these days, I don't have a current one, but if it's a little weak, if you're finding it's not performing for you and you sort of want something that is in that ballpark, not exactly the same, but is maybe doing a similar job in terms of when you would wear it, then you've got to give Hacivat a try. For a fresher scent, this one is quite dense, and as Terence Hughes would say, it creates this big wall of fragrance. For me, it's this earthy, green, mossy quality that really drives the power of this fragrance. It's because of this that the citrus notes hang around for longer, so the freshness pretty much lasts throughout the whole time you're wearing this scent. It's not just in the opening, it's fairly fresh for 8 to 10 hours, I would say. Very long lasting. I love to wear this when I want a fresh scent that makes a statement, and those kind of fragrances are few and far between. I don't own many of them, but this certainly is one. I would choose to wear this for a formal occasion, possibly in the summer, but really you could wear this all year round. It's that strong, and because of that strength, it really inspires confidence, and it is certainly going to get you noticed. One of my favorite fragrances from the house of Creed, if not my favorite, is Viking. It has a real invigorating freshness coming from mint, citruses and pink pepper, and it's this that helps really push the projection with some spiciness. Actually, a fresher version of Viking is Viking cologne. Love this fragrance. I think it works really well in the warmer weather, but it's not that long lasting. As much as I enjoy wearing it, it does fade away quicker. So if I'm talking about a long lasting version of Viking, I've got to go with the original. Considering how fresh this is in the opening with the citruses and the mint, it's quite a full-bodied scent. There's some rose and woods here which help make it very long lasting on me. This is a very luxurious, sophisticated, refined scent, and of course you do have to pay a bit more for luxury, but in this case I think it's worth it. Probably someone with a little bit more maturity would pull this fragrance off. I'm thinking maybe 30 plus. If you want to go into the office and smell like a boss when you're not the boss, then Viking is going to help you pull that trick off. Even if someone is trying to boss it out and be the best by wearing AVENTUS, I think if you wear Viking, you could outboss them. If you love fragrance as much as I do, head over to my online store, luxparfum.co.uk. You'll find my favourite brands, plus brands you can't find anywhere else in the UK. Link is in the description. Remember how I said all those minutes ago that Bleu de Chanel Parfum was one of my best long-lasting fresh fragrances? Well, this one smells practically the same, but it's even more powerful than Chanel's iconic scent. From Armaf, it's Club de Nuit, iconic. Armaf are probably the best known non-clone house in that they never make mention of fragrances they might be inspired by. They just let consumers figure it out. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he managed to replicate the Chanel magic. Not only that, but it also packs more firepower. I am not quite sure how they've managed this. There's some good blending going on here. Sometimes with the Armaf fragrances, they can have that bigger firepower. They can be more powerful and longer lasting, especially with Creed fragrances, but they're sometimes a little rougher, a bit more abrasive. They lose a little bit of that smooth refinement as a trade-off to gain more power. Well, this one doesn't seem to have traded off that refinement for extra firepower. It still manages to be quite smooth and sophisticated. It's a little bit cheaper than the Chanel. It's not the cheapest Armaf fragrance. It's currently about £60 here in the UK, so about £30 cheaper than Bleu de Chanel Parfum. What you tend to find though with these Armaf fragrances, once they've been out a few months, this is a pretty new release. Once it's been out a little while, they fall onto the discounter websites, the price drops, and I think you're going to see that with this. So if you are interested in this and you don't want to pay £60, even though I think it is well worth £60 for this 105ml bottle. It's a big old bottle, and remember, a more powerful fragrance, you don't have to spray as much of it. But if you do want to wait, then a few months time, 6 months or so, I think you're going to pick this up for even cheaper, maybe 40 or 50 pounds. But at the moment, this is one of the strongest, longest lasting fresh fragrances I own. When it comes to freshness in fragrances, just like with Viking, I love when the note of mint is combined with other fresh notes. And with Niche4All Sea Mint, they're bringing all the mint. Despite the freshness, it's another quite full-bodied fragrance. The cooling spices really nicely complement the mint. You even get some delicately blended oud, which brings that firepower to the party. One of the most impressive things about this fragrance is how smooth it all is. No sharp edges at all, very rounded. Another impressive thing is the price. This 100ml bottle can be had for £80 on Niche4All's website. They do smaller versions as well if you didn't want to spend £80. If you've never heard of Niche4All, they're a fantastic Swedish brand. There is an affiliate link in this video description. Of course, as you know with affiliates, I get a small kickback if you purchase through that link. It doesn't cost you any more, but it really does help support this channel seriously if you buy anything through any of my affiliate links. Thank you, because you are really helping this channel to keep going. I can't make a video about strong, long-lasting fragrances without mentioning a brand that is associated with strong, long-lasting fragrances. It's Amouage, and Lineage is one of their fresher fragrances, and it's a belter. It's got fresh, zingy ginger and pepper in the opening, so nicely projecting spicy open, and then it's got incense and resins which help boost its performance. Also, there's a great sea salt accord, so it has connections to the ocean, to summer holidays by the sea. It's not quite as fresh or traditionally fresh as some of the other fragrances in this video, but you could absolutely wear this fragrance in all the same situations that you would usually wear a fresh fragrance. Stunningly made fragrance, very refined, and its unique blend of fresh spiciness with the sea salt and the frankincense definitely make this one stand out from the crowd. And I think this one definitely wins the award for best bottle in this video. It's time to talk about the fragrance that inspired me to make this video. From Terence Hughes, it's the brand new Supernova. This is a strong citrus scent that is mouth-wateringly juicy with mandarin, orange and grapefruit at the top. There's also some sea accords in here, and rather than it being a sea saltiness, it's more like this refreshing oceanic breeze. All these notes combine to create a fragrance that evokes lying on a beach on summer holidays, drinking a cocktail. Supernova takes you there with a lovely fruity explosion. Ridiculously easy to wear. This is a niche fragrance doing fresh really well because you get the quality of the materials in there, but also mass appeal. I've been loving this to the point where I'm gonna go to Portugal on holiday in a few weeks' time. I'm thinking about making this my go-to summer scent of 2023. So Supernova is definitely going in the suitcase. There are my picks of strong, long-lasting, fresh fragrances to wear in the summer. Nice little mix of designer and niche there for you. Couple of honourable mentions that people usually do at the beginning, but I'm doing at the end because they've just popped into my head right now. One designer, one niche. Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Profumo. I didn't mention that in the main video because it's harder to get. It's been discontinued. They're maybe reformulating. Anyway, the Acqua di Gio Parfum is coming out in place of that. But if you can still get Acqua di Gio Profumo or you own it, then for me that is a great long-lasting fresh fragrance. Also a great fresh Amouage is Sunshine Man. I've had a little decant of that in the past, I used it all up, but if you want a fresh juicy summer fragrance that has insane longevity, then definitely try Sunshine Man. What are your favourite long-lasting fresh summer scents? Let me know in the comments, because if I've not tried them I would love to. I hope you found this video useful. If you liked it, you know what to do. Give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do all that, I will see you in the next video. Stay fresh out there.